Yo, what's up everybody? Shroomworks here with the mod list for the upcoming Season 2 of Factorio with Bob's Mods. Well then, let's first talk about the goal of the new season, and that is go big or go home. Have a massive factory with massive production. Forget about the two arrays of iron plate production. We're gonna have 4 or 6 of them. We're going to have an absolute massive production with the end goal of launching a rocket every 10 seconds. Well then, let's take a look at the mods themselves. Many mods are making a reappearance from the last season, but other mods are completely new and I'm excited to start using them. So let's take a look at them. First, making a reappearance are the additional oil refineries, which I really much neglected using in the last season, but this time I definitely gonna use them. And they add 2 more tiers to the oil refineries Mark II and Mark III. In conjunction with Bob's mods, we can properly upgrade them, they will use the new recipes, etc. So, next is aircraft. I have never used this before. It's an older mod that I've seen before, but I've never used it. That adds several new aircraft into the game. For example, a gunboat, a fighter aircraft, a mobile fortress, which I'm looking forward to using against those nasty biters. And yeah, I can't wait to use it. Next is artillery. Because who didn't want to ever bomb biters out of their nests from a convenient range? I'm gonna look forward to using this. Autofill is back. When placing a turret or a furnace, they are getting automatically filled either with ammunition or coal or other consumables, depending on the type. This is Bob's base mod, I think. Yes. No. Sorry, it's the base game itself. Okay. We have the belt sorter. It's something completely new that I've not used before. And from what I understand, it's sorting different items on the belt onto other belts, which should make sorting, especially with gems, a lot easier instead of using filter inserters. We have Big Brother. From what I understand, this adds new technology for the radars, which ups their power and scanning range, scanning speed, etc. I'm looking forward to using this, especially since it scans a larger radius. The big wooden power pole makes a reappearance. It's like the power pole, the big power pole, except that it's available from the start and doesn't have a power supply area around them. Then, Bob's adjustable inserters. This is something new to me. From what I understand, it is here in the description. Adds hotkeys, and a GUI to adjust inserter pickup and drop locations, which means we can, from what I understand, place down inserters and basically tell them where to drop and pick up from. It's the first time I'm using it, so I suppose we're gonna learn it together. Bob's assembly machines makes a reappearance, of course, along with all the other Bob's mods. It gives assembly machines 4, 5, and 6. 3 more tiers for the assembly machines. Each one of them is more costly to build, but it also increases greatly the production speed and module slots. Bob's config is simply an assortment of config files that you can use to adjust your Bob's mods experience. For example, you can activate the spawning of certain ores, such as sulfur or galena, which makes things a little bit more easy. Bob's Electronics completely changes the way electronics are produced and adds way more steps to it. For example, you're not going to make green electronics, red electronics, and blue electronics anymore. No, electronics have several tiers, and each tier needs certain parts, such as integrated electronics or CPUs, and of course solder, electronic basic parts, and so on and so forth. Makes everything more complex, and that's what we love, right? Okay, next one, Bob's enemies. It changes the biters and spitters to give them elemental damage. For example, biters will not only be able to spit acid, but spit fire, poison, and so on and so forth. It's going to be carnage. Functions library mod for Bob's mod is simply so everything can be used together. And it adds the ability for other mods to use it and integrate themselves with Bob's mods. This one is new to me, Bob's Greenhouse mod. In last season I've used Tree Farming Light in order to grow trees at the beginning, before switching over to oil. This adds a greenhouse, and it makes wood, just as you can see in the description. It's like a tree farm, basically. First time I'm using it, so I'm not 100% sure how it works, but we'll learn together. Bob's Logistics mods. It adds new belts. For example, okay. The basic game added 3 belt types: yellow, red, and blue. Yellow being the slowest, red being medium ground, and blue are the express belts. This adds 3 more tiers. No, 2 more tiers. And that is the green and the purple belts. They are, of course, much faster. Their underground belt variants have, depending on the type, a much further range, and of course splitters are going to be much faster as well. It also adds new inserters, such as the Express Inserter, Express Long-Handed Inserter, near-handed inserters which only place on the inside of the belt, and far-handed inserters which only place on the outside. Okay, Bob's Metals, Chemicals and Intermediate. That is where Bob's Mods, I'd say it's the heart of Bob's Mods, because it adds all the new metals, chemicals and intermediate products, such as bronze or ceramics, nitinol, titanium, etc. Bob's Mining. This adds new mining jewels, for example the area mining jewel, which has a larger range, but mines slower. It also comes with several tiers of the electric mines, up to tier 4 if I remember correctly. Next is Bob's Modules, which changes the way modules are being produced. If you have seen my previous season, then you know what I'm talking about. And if you're new to this season, then let me tell you, modules are much more complex. They have their very own research station, their own lab. There are several basic components that you need to produce the modules, for example module contacts, logic boards, etc, etc. It's madness. Bob's Ores, which adds all the new ores, such as galena, nickel, zinc, titanium, the gems, sulfur, and so on and so forth. It is needed. Bob's Power adds new, or rather upgradable power options. For example, the steam engine comes in several tiers, the steam boiler comes in several tiers. It adds new accumulators, such as the fast accumulator, the slow accumulator, and of course they too come in several tiers. And it adds new solar panels, a small solar panel, large solar panels, and of course they too come in several tiers. Bob's Research Progress Saver, first time I'm using it, but from what I understand, it allows you to switch researches in between without needing to... Okay, how should I explain it? It lets you change researches while you are researching something, and that something that you are researching, the progress is going to be saved. So no need to research it from the ground up again. That's, I think, how it works. You see. Revamp mod is a technology and recipe restructuring. It's making a reappearance in this season. What it does is it puts the items that you can produce into categories, changes them around a little so it makes more sense. Bob's Tech adds more useful research and is basically necessary for the correct use for everything here. Then Bob's Warfare. It's something that I pretty much neglected going into in the previous season, but I'm going to definitely use it this season. Bob's Warfare adds new types of ammunition, for example elemental ammunition, which give you acid damage or poison damage, explosive damage, and so on and so forth. It's definitely going to be something that I'm using this time around. Next is Bridge Railway. As the name suggests, it adds a rail which can be placed on water, which might actually come in handy quite a bit, because I don't have to lay around the rails around the bodies of water, but I can simply cross them. The bucket re-excavator makes a reappearance. I realize I haven't used it at all in the last season. This time around I am going to use it. Definitely. What it does is giving us a massive bucket-to-wheel excavator that has a massive range and an extreme fast ore output, but of course it mines the ores just as fast, meaning you would have to replace it every 5 minutes or so. Place it around, get more resources. Cheaper rail and concrete. This is more something of a convenient thing for me, because I don't have to spend so much time producing concrete and rails for outposts and to lay down concrete in the main base, etc. It's just a convenient thing for me. Crafting speed research makes a reappearance. Basically what it does, it's giving you research that allows you to increase your crafting speed. The hand crafting speed. Crafting in your inventory. If I remember correctly, it can upgrade it up to 300%. 3 times as fast, yes. It's a convenient thing to have if you're crafting by hand. Next, to support the go big or go home with the massive factory, is endless resources. Now, don't be fooled with the name itself. While it does give you endless resources, it does have a drawback, and that is it changes the ores to behave like oil. Oil, of course, has a percentual value, and that goes down over time until you have a trickle of 0.1 oil per second. And the same thing will happen with the mines as well. They will produce constantly, but the production rate itself is going to slow down tremendously over time. Even with fully upgraded Mark IV mines with tier 5 modules, speed modules, it's still going to be just a trickle, so we are still being forced to go out and found new outposts in order to get more resources. Next up is enhanced map colors. This adds colors to items on map, minimap for contrast, aids map readability. It also ties in with Bob's mods. For example, if you have express belts on the map, it will be shown as blue to indicate, hey, you got express belts running through there. And it will help read the map. Simple. Next up, which is making a reappearance, is the Evil GUI. It gives us a indicator of how far the evolution of the biters has come. It gives us also a indicator of how many biters we've killed, how many nests we've destroyed. And I think it also adds a clock. I'm not sure anymore. Flow control. This is something new that I'm using. And from the description, as you can see here, it's pipe with restricted connections, non-return valve, and basic and improved pumps. The reason I'm using it is because of the pumps, which will come in handy greatly when having outposts that produce oil, and you need to load up your train with oil. It gives these express pumps which can fill an oil wagon in about 12 seconds. The other thing it adds, which is very useful, pipes with restricted connections. That means I can finally lay pipes next to each other without having them connected to each other. That makes setups a bit more compact. Next up is Fluid Void. This is a gift from God, I tell you, because it finally allows me to get rid of these unnecessary fluids, such as in the late game as what was it called? Acidic fluid? No, not acidic fluid. It's for the batteries, the battery acid. I'm not sure how it's called anymore. I can't remember right now. But it gives us the ability to void test stuff, which is pretty neat. Then we have gravestones. I have installed a mod that allows me to respawn in single player instead of, when dying, having to reload the game and doing everything from start again. And Hazard's gravestones does tie in with that respawn mod. And basically, like in the Diablo games, it creates a gravestone when you die and it saves your inventory. Pretty neat. Honk. Try sound when stopping and starting, and on command. It simply adds a honk to the trains. I mean, why not? Landfill is making a reappearance. Landfill allows us to fill in bodies of water with land. We are going, it needs stone in order to do this. And it adds a reshaped compression bomb, which creates water, which is pretty neat too. Long Reach mod is making a reappearance. This is more of a convenience thing, and it allows me to access everything that I can see currently when zoomed out fully. I could, for example, access the some drills, fill them up with coal and get the contents out, etc., without having to run over and do it manually. That speeds up a little bit the game in the beginning. A new mod is the Orbital Ion Cannon. Once we have rockets again, we can launch up an Orbital Ion Cannon, which has to be charged first. And then we can rain down death on those nasty biters. I'm looking forward to using this mod. If you have played the Command & Conquer series previously, you know the GDI Ion Cannon. It's basically the same thing. Pipe Cleaner. This too is a godsend. It is absolutely awesome. Ever had the problem with accidentally connecting your oil pipe to your water pipe and having to tear down all the pipes just to get rid of that water? Well, no more. The pipe cleaner helps you with that. Instead of tearing down everything and building it up again, you can simply choose the pipes that you want to clean, and it does it. It's absolutely awesome. Red Alerts is a new one. It adds useful warnings such as low power and structure destroyed, announced either by the EVA voices from the Plant & Conquer series or with unvoiced sound sets. This will help me to find out what's wrong, especially when we are low on power, which only was indicated by the slow movement of inserters. Roadworks is a new mod as well. From what I understand, it adds the ability to actually build roads, build bridges for cars, and so on and so forth. And I'm looking forward to using it. This is the respawn mod I was talking about earlier when talking about the gravestone mod. All it does is copy the ability from the multiplayer to simply respawn when dying. This alleviates the necessity to save every 5 minutes or something like that. Shuttle train. Since I'm planning to make a tram system for inside the base, I thought the shuttle train would be actually a pretty neat thing to install. This adds a way to quickly get around the base. It saves various, how should I say, various train stations that you can just click on and you can drive there instantly. No, not instantly, you can drive there without having to do anything. And you even can call that train to a station if you need it. Pretty neat. Then comes Squeak Through. It's making a reappearance. All it does is provide the ability to squeak through spaces that were previously inaccessible. For example, you would have to run around a steam engine setup because you can't walk between them, right? Well, no more. It lets you walk between these. For example, you can see it in the description. Adjacent solar panels, pipes, steam engines, mining drills, and chests. No more frustration when walking around your base. Next is Tank Wagon, which makes an appearance. I realize I haven't used that in the previous season, mostly because it wasn't necessary. We had tons of oil, especially when we started converting coal into oil. This time, with the Go Big or Go Home, we're definitely going to need a tank wagon. And what it does, it's simply allowing us to use a train wagon and fill it with oil and carry that back to the base. No need to use barrels or something like that. Next makes a reappearance again, and that is the Fat Controller. What it does is it allows us to remotely control trains and have an overview over trains in general. It lets us see what's wrong with the train. Does it have a station to go to? Does it have enough fuel? Etc. Tree collision. It simply changes the bounding box or the collision box of trees very small. Makes it easier to move around if we happen to spawn in a wooded area. Next one is trucks. Never used before, but it adds trucks to the game. Not exactly sure what trucks it adds, but trucks are nice, right? Turtle speed. This is something I've decided upon because it adds the ability to press a hotkey and disable the exoskeleton legs. When we have later on power armor, and you may have seen it in the previous season, Um, the legs are letting you zip around at a massive speed, and instantly too. One of my viewers, Orange Microfiber, recommended a mod to me that basically lets you start slow and speeds you up as you go. But it was a bit inconvenient using that mod because it had a few problems with the basic movement speed. And total speed simply switches the legs on or off, which is a bit more convenient. Victory pose. First time I'm using it. From what I understand, these victory poles disable the spawning of biters in a certain area. So if you cleaned out a nest, you can put down a victory pole to show the damn biters who's boss and that they are no longer on top of the food chain, and they will no longer try to settle in the vicinity of the victory pole. Which means we can clean out entire areas and actually keep them safe from resettling. Next is the warehousing mod, which makes a reappearance, but this one is a tricky one because I'm not sure if I can use it. From what I've read is that the version 0.0.10 is for the base game of 13.0, but here it says Factorio version 0.14 instead of 0.13. The changelog also indicated that the 0.10 version is for 0.13, and yet I'm not sure if I can use it. Okay, water well. This I've decided to install this as an alternative to the water bore from Bob's Mods, and pumps water from the ground. I think it is faster than the electric drills from Bob's Mods, which the water bore, not the electric drill, which could come in handy quite a bit. But we see. Wooden walls. This gives the ability to build walls in the early game by using wood instead of concrete. Or stone bricks. No, it was stone bricks, sorry, not concrete. And of course they are weaker than the normal basic vanilla boards, but they give you some early game protection, and that's pretty good. The ad loader. That is something I've never used before. From what I understand, the loaders are something that is not yet in the game, but can be found in the game files. Not exactly what it does, except that it seems to be able to load without inserters, and it also ties in with Bob's Mods, adding the fast loader and the express loader. Blueprint Book 2. That is something I've never used before. I hope it's useful. For what I understand, it is adding a second tier of Blueprint Book that has a larger inventory to store more blueprints in. Then we have Radar Plus for RSO. It gives us a larger radar range from the get-go, and was used in conjunction with the RSO mod to better find ores. I'm not sure if it's going to conflict with Big Brother or not, but hopefully it won't. Unless, if it does, then I'm gonna kick it out. And this is something that I've done for convenience, because the other mod that I've used in previous seasons, the More Lights mod, doesn't really seem to work anymore. And other mods that I've found to increase the visibility during night are for version 14 instead of 13. So this one makes it always day. I'm gonna kick that out once I find a mod that basically does what I had in the previous version, previous season. So this is it for the mods. I'm excited to start with this. Honestly, I am. New episodes are going to be released every Monday. That means you have an entire week to catch up on the whole Let's Play series, the whole season. And yeah, as I said in the beginning, the theme is Go Big or Go Home, with the end goal of launching a rocket every 10 minutes. 10 seconds, not 10 minutes, sorry. And sorry again, I know I said in the previous season, at the end of the previous season, that I was going to make an extra episode on Bob's Warfare, but I've decided against it because I'm definitely going to make it part of this season. Okay, I'd say this is about it for episode 00, the mod list. I hope you liked it. I hope you're looking forward to the next season as well as I do. As much as I do. And I see you in episode 1. As always, I thank you for watching. If you want to support the channel, then please like, share, and subscribe. And I hope I see you again next time. Until then, stay safe.